It takes a village, because for all means for all. Together we'll break down any wall. Linked in love, we won't disarm. We're uniting the grassroots army strong. So press play, feel the spark. This is where the movement starts. It takes a village and we're the proof. Truth in action, raising the roof. It takes a village. It takes a village. We rise together, louder than fear. One voice from fire, crystal clear. From every banner, every street, unity moves.
Welcome,
on
everyone, to It Takes a Village,
destiny.
where we sit down with candidates from all over the country to discuss a wide range of issues brought by you, the viewer. I am your charming and furious host, Political Jess, and I'm not going anywhere except tomorrow when we all go and yell on corners. It's going to be great. Speaking of our guest tonight, she comes to us from the great or not so great state lately of Texas.
It's a
Running-
great state with a not great government.
That's right. That's right. I like how you spin that. Running for Texas House Seat 132, please give a warm and incomparable welcome to the incredible Sara McGee. Okay, so welcome to the show. Let me do this thing here real quick where I make you bigger and people can see you. Before we get started by taking questions from the village people, working title only, I like to ask a question. It's a little icebreaker, if you will. And I know I always hated these things, but, you know, here we are. We've heard of the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? We are not being hit with straws. We are being hit with the whole damn camel. All the camel, all the time, all constantly, over and over again. It's exhausting, frankly. What was the camel that broke your back that inspired you to run? And if you could tell us where you're running and a little bit about the district that you are hoping to represent.
Sure. No, that's actually my favorite story to tell. So, I spent last fall working on national issues. So I was block walking for Colin Allred and phone banking for Kamala, and sitting in bed on a Sunday afternoon texting people in Michigan, reminding them to vote. And then it was the first day of early voting, and I went to my local polling place, and my current state representative was there, passing out his push cards and whatnot. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. I'd actually never met him before. And I was like, I'm going to go talk to him, because they always tell you to talk to your representatives. And just a little background about me, my day job, I'm a director of radiology at a hospital here in the Houston area. So,
No way.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk. I worked in radiology for 17 years in a former life, so we'll chat. That's
amazing.
incredible.
Okay.
Small world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, definitely. So yeah, I had just gotten off work. I was still wearing my scrubs, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go actually have conversation and tell him about some of the things that I have seen with my own eyes that have happened with women since the abortion ban was passed. Very naive of me looking back, because, I was like, because I thought for sure, I was like, I'm going to tell him these things and he's going to have this like epiphany, and he's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that is, what happened when the law was put in place, and that wasn't the intention. And anyway, so I told him several harrowing stories, and he basically called me a liar to my face and told me that was not happening, and that the law protects mothers, which we all know that we've, seen the stories that it absolutely does not. The maternal mortality rate in Texas has gotten so bad, they have stopped reporting on it. They have not released any maternal mortality data in Texas since 2022. Yeah, so anyway, so like that. Yeah, so I couldn't believe, and so like just immediately, that really was my like straw that broke the camel's back moment. If you'd asked me a year ago, I never in a million years would have thought I had been a political candidate, but with that one conversation, I walked away and I was like, I can't believe I just spent the entire fall working on national issues when we have such a problem right here at home. And so, yeah, I basically walked away from that, determined that I was going to take his job, because where I live in the district that I'm running in, I've lived here for 41 years. Like, I grew up here. I went to high school here. I raised my children here. And that man does not represent my hometown and the people that I know and love and my family and my friends and their families and friends. And it's just, once you grow up in a place like Katy, Texas, like a lot of people don't leave because it's a pretty great place to live. So I made that decision. And then I filed my paperwork like 3 days after the election. Like that is how, like, I mean, I meant it. And here now, almost a year later, you know, because when early voting starts on Monday, it will be the 1 year anniversary of when I made that decision. So it's been a crazy year. So I got started because I am a true grassroots candidate. I was not recruited. I was not handpicked. I actually started this by Googling how to run for office in Texas. Like that's
You watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, okay, let me, I was like, I don't care. Like, I have no money. I have no, like, I'm going to figure this out. Like, I don't care if I have to knock on every single door in this district 5 times myself if I have to. Like, we're getting this done. And I've always just been that sort of like determined person. And so that's what I did. So I filed, and then I immediately started going to every single Democratic club meeting, every single Democratic event, every single school board meeting, like anywhere and everywhere that there was people, I started going and handing out. It's funny, I've kept one iteration of my very first push card, and looking back on it now, I'm like, oh my goodness. It looks like my lab made this, but it got the job done. So yeah, and so I did that, and it's crazy. Here, a year later, I have now a very well established campaign I have 3 people on staff, and I have a team that has they reached out to me, but 2 of the people that I met when I was volunteering on the Colin Allred campaign. So it's 2 people that were a member of his team last year are now on my team. So they have a precinct by precinct level, week by week, month by month plan of attack on how I'm actually going to win. So I'm not, I'm no longer
so great.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. So I'm no longer walking away. I'm taking his job. How the heck am I going to do this? I actually know now.
That's
how
amazing. There are so many. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, having said that, fundraising is still very, very tricky for someone who does not have connections and someone, because it's fun and it's an inspiring story for people when I talk to them. But yeah, like I need some yard sign money. I don't need buy-in election money. I need some yard sign money. Because I want to paint my neighborhood and my community and my district with yard signs. So, but yeah, talking to people directly, yard signs, getting it out there. I should be able to do it on a budget, but right now it's anemic.
The fundraising issue is a big deal, and I don't know I know nationally what it should look like, right? But in the Texas legislature, it's a little bit different because we have a lot of different challenges here in Texas, as far as who truly owns our politics. And and I know what I'm talking about. There's like 2 people.
Oh, I absolutely. Oh, yeah, there's only 2 people. I'll say their name.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit and what challenges we are facing here in Texas to change it?
Yeah, no. So basically, I want to say probably like a decade ago, there's these 2 men named Ferris Wilkes and Tim Dunn who are like West Texas oil tycoons and very, very, very far right Christian nationalists. Like I'll say it, people try to tiptoe around the label, but that is definitely what they are. And they started contributing to political campaigns in Texas. And then, when I say contributing, I mean buying elections. Like they give a state candidate like $200,000, which is basically enough to buy a state house seat here in Texas. They were primarying Republicans that they didn't think were far right enough. And so through that, they have actually like really infested our state house with these really super far right purchased Republicans. And if they do not do what they want them to do and vote exactly how they want them to vote on these increasingly crazy radical ideas, they will primary them again the next cycle. And then this year they took it even a step further, and they've infected our like the state Republican executive committee in Texas, and basically told them this is what's going to happen if these people don't follow what we want them to follow. We're actually going to censure them and keep them from even being on the ballot. And they did that because there was one person last cycle named Dade Phelan who they tried to do that to. They tried to primary him, and their crazy, like, well-funded candidate lost the primary by like 15 votes or something. And so this, principled Republican had enough of community support that he was able to actually beat the money. And they didn't like that. So now they're actually trying to censure Republicans and get them off the ballot. So it basically means, and you hear it all over the place. Like, Republicans are super fed up because they're like, hey, why did you vote for this? Like, we didn't want this. We didn't ask for this. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not listening to their constituents at all because that's not who they're trying to please or impress. Like, it's disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a challenge. So, you have invited Republicans to stick with you on shared issues. Before I ask that, my brain is all over the place. I'm so sorry. What is your yard sign budget? What's your yard sign budget?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
don't know.
to get a yard sign in every yard that I need to get a yard sign in would cost about $80,000. Yeah.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coffee. Guys, you got to go buy Sarah a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
Like 80,000 cups of coffee. Maybe not that many, but
Now I
maybe
will say I do have some, but I mean, I definitely need the grassroots small dollar donations to get there. That's what has been driving this whole thing for this entire year. And another thing it's difficult because I have made a very public stance, and I mean every word of it. And I don't know what my political career looks like 10 years from now, but I will never take foreign influence PAC money, and I will absolutely never take corporate PAC money. The only PAC money that I will accept will be from cause-based PACs, and they will be causes that I've already been very loudly on the record in support of. So public school funding, women's rights, the cannabis lobbying, groups. Like, I have been fully vocally in support of all of these issues. Any PAC that wants to end gerrymandering, any PAC calling for term limits for Congress, I will take money from them. So cause-based PACs, I will be accepting some money from cause-based PACs, but nothing where they have the kind of money to actually buy elections and then think that they own you and can influence your vote. I want nothing to do with it. I have no interest in being purchased. I don't want to be a puppet. I don't, I never want to be in a situation where I feel like I cannot go directly to my constituents, ask them how they would like me to vote on an issue, and then have to vote.
And then not be able to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So having said that, I do have hope after these November elections, when they start to really focus on the 2026 elections, that I will be able to hook up with some of these PACs and get some nice chunks of
some little extra sign money. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely helps, for sure. And I'm really relieved to hear you say that you like things like the iCountry PACs and things like that are not something that you're interested in. I feel like PACs in themselves are kind of it's kind of a gray, smoky, hazy, dangerous sort of place. It's a slippery slope, so to speak. Because if you take money from them, and then they sort of, change their tune or shift in a certain way, then they own you.
They do.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
5 years ago, taking money, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but 5 years ago, taking money from that certain influential PAC didn't sound like such a bad thing because they're our ally and this and that. And then they start doing horrible things and you can't separate yourself from them. So we have to make it clear moving forward, and it's actually, the craziest thing is as I've been calling, donors and whatnot, I will vet, because I've had a few people share with me a couple lists of high dollar donors that I could potentially reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have to vet people before I call them. You have to actively try to avoid money tied to certain causes.
Yeah.
Like you could very easily accidentally accept money from these certain causes if you're not doing your due diligence. But I do
Yeah.
my due diligence because that's how serious I am about it.
But there's a lot of politicians who don't do
Oh,
that. And then
absolutely.
that's how they get stuck. Guys, can we take a break for a second? Because we just hit 20K and I want to give my dog a treat because 20K and that's, that's what we do. So while I'm doing that, let me ask you a question. You have been inviting Republicans to stick with you on shared issues. What bipartisan efforts do you believe are possible in today's Texas legislature?
Oh, absolutely. There are two big ones, two really big ones: school funding and the cannabis lobby. Those are two huge bipartisan issues. Starting with school funding, there were some Republicans that wanted school vouchers, but it was sold as something completely different than what it is actually turned out to be. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. How do you explain
Simon.
Yeah.
You get a
Oh,
treat.
at some point, my guy, he's sleeping on the couch right now, but at some point he'll come over and try to stick his head in. But anyway, so school funding, they completely sold the voucher program as something that it's not.
Not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now it's been absolutely exposed. That obviously we just passed it, so we don't have it in place yet. But they just announced that they awarded the vendor contract to the person that's tied to the company that gave Greg Abbott $6 million in campaign.
Shocking.
It is such a
Shocking.
clear line of corruption. You can't even hide it. They're not trying to hide it because why
No.
would they? Texas is a red state. They do everything they can. Yeah, so that is very clearly bipartisan. I was doing some help. I was helping with, we had the KDISD school board elections were back in May. My district splits two school districts. I have KDISD and Cy-Fair ISD, two of the biggest school districts in Texas. And anyway, so I was doing some work with the KDISD school board election back in May because we had some crazy like Moms for Liberty endorsed candidates on our school board that were just causing havoc. And so I went to the election night watch party of the candidates that we were able to get elected, and thank goodness our preferred candidates won, and they were what we call like soft Republicans. Like they're not Republicans but not MAGA, but we were working for them because they were pro public education candidates. Anyway, so I went to the election night watch party for those candidates, and I talked to probably 100 Republicans that all said the same thing. They're like, we are now officially single issue voters. We will not vote for anybody all the way up to Abbott that supported or voted for school vouchers. Like they're that serious. They want to get them out of our state before they can take hold and completely rob our public education system.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's a really big one, and it's huge. It's specifically in my district.
Yeah, it's huge. It's going to decimate our public schools. And as a mom who's got a kid who goes to public schools, a disabled child, by the way, who goes to public schools, the fury that I feel is very deep and wide. So Sin in the comments wants to know what your thoughts are on the YT crime in this country. Do you follow? I have to kind of be careful with my verbiage because TikTok makes us talk like toddlers. I understand that. The melanin lacking men versus melanin lacking men crime.
Yes. I don't know how. Okay. See, this is so tricky. And this is one of the things where they get you. And I have a couple of other examples. It's gotten to the point where you can't address it, or they'll say that you hate that race of people.
Yep.
And I'm like, no. And it's, oh my gosh, it's the same exact. So like, I'm going to just pull the rabbit out of the hat, and we're going to talk about boys and girls sports, and and I'm just going to go for it. In Ohio, because here's the thing, laws like that, they are completely unenforceable without dramatically breaching the privacy of children, literal children. because the things that they have suggested, DNA check. Oh, well, you can find out with just a simple cheek swab. Yes, because I want the United States government having my DNA. Like, do you hear yourself? Like, that's crazy. The Ohio State Legislature in 2023 attempted to pass a law that included genital inspections on as one of the ways you could verify someone's gender prior to playing sports. And I'm like, you want male coaches to be legally allowed to inspect minor female genitals before they can play sports. Absolutely. And thank goodness, like the public backlash made them remove that from the bill, and it didn't pass that way. But so that's the thing. They write these wackadoodle laws that nobody would ever support, right? And then Democrats speak up against it, and their immediate report is, "Oh, you want my daughter to see a penis in the locker room?" And you're like, "Oh my God,
They love the
oh my
TikTok
God,
shop.
like this is crazy." Like, you know,
Yeah.
like because that's exactly what happens. Like that's what happens. They write these crazy laws. We come out like pushing back on these really crazy laws, and then they spin it like we want the most extreme scenarios to be to happen. And I mean, obviously we don't. Nobody wants girls to see men's private parts in locker rooms. Nobody does.
Well, that doesn't happen.
It does. Well, yeah,
It
that
doesn't happen. It's a fear
It doesn't happen.
tactic.
It is.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
they're just spinning people up. I think Sin was referring to the violent actions of the YT people versus the YT people, is what she was talking about. The like the Charlie Kirk situation.
Oh,
And
like
yes, about
You
tool
know,
violence.
yes.
I hate
You know
this
what? Yeah, I actually have a very nuanced take on, and we'll go with the male loneliness epidemic, because that is, they keep pinpointing to that being a cause of this political violence, is these young men who have been radicalized and, radicalized online and told that they're never going to have jobs and they're never going to get girlfriends and they're never going to, have wives, and, because women are crazy and it's their fault and it's feminist fault and, all of this stuff. No, the cause of don't say the buzzwords. The cause of the male loneliness epidemic is unchecked capitalism. And the entire reason why is because you used to be able to afford a home and support a family of 4 on one income. And then they kept getting greedier and greedier and greedier and greedier. And then, to the point where you can't afford a home unless 2 people are working. And instead of pointing the finger in the direction of the people actually causing it, the people that have allowed wages to stagnate and homes to become incredible, way too expensive, and all of the things that are actually causing it, they started blaming women and feminism and blaming it on us and saying that we wanted too much. And the problem is they keep telling these guys, "Oh, well, it's the girl's fault. It's the girl's fault." And these men are still raised in a society where they tell them that they should, finish school, get your job, and then support a family of 4. And then when a man cannot do that in this current environment, they automatically feel like a failure, because in this environment of unchecked capitalism, they're being set up to fail. And so, yeah, it's created. And instead of, like I said, instead of blaming the system that set them up for this failure, they've decided to blame women, and it's just made it's a powder keg.
And there's no talking them out of it either. It's like,
No.
It's crazy. Sin's going to come up and clarify our question because I got it wrong. So,
Sure.
Hey, Sin. So sorry about that, friend.
No, you're totally fine. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So I just wanted to clarify my question, if I just have a quick second for it.
Of course you do.
And the reason why I want to clarify it is because you're Texas running for a bordering state, which to me is very impactful, right? I'm a child of criminals, which is what we've been descended and, the label we've been told. So I am a descendant of criminals. So because of that, I just want to know your thoughts on the white on white crime in this country. And to me, it's a very poignant question. And I know we've pivoted a bit, which, by the way, I want to clarify 2 points. I don't disagree with anything that you've said. One, with the male loneliness epidemic, and also with women in general, and all of those pieces. I do not disagree with any of that. But my question was very like generic, purposefully, because I just would love to know how you feel being somebody who wants to represent Texas, how you feel about the white on white crime in this country.
I guess I'm still not quite following.
So I'll put it. Let me be more, I guess, brass
Yeah.
with this. So it's
my
very
permission.
easy for everybody to 100% put thugs, to put criminals, dropouts, to put whatever label on somebody that is not of a white skin, anything, right? But what we're seeing in general of a lot of these high crimes that happen, number one, in schools, number one, that happen against children, and number one, that happen against, two, against women, which, by the way, those are 1 and 1 to me, so I don't know why I'm labeling 1 and 2. But plain and simply, when we're talking about these crimes in these groups that should not at all, they should be protected and should not at all be attacked. I want to know your thoughts on that white on white crime.
Yeah. So I will say the good thing that it's something that I hadn't necessarily seen a ton. That is really starting to take hold, and I'm thankful that people are talking about it, especially on Twitter. Which, oh God, if you're not on Twitter, don't do it.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We will, yeah. But if you are, people have definitely, like, we now have you ever seen the meme that's a collection of people in their reflective sunglasses taking their selfie, driving their car or whatever, and they're like, like when you see this picture, you know they're about to say like the craziest thing ever. People have now made a collection of those pictures. I'm totally losing the words I'm thinking of all of the people that have, you know, perform these acts of violence in recent history in the last 5 years. And they are posting it and sharing it and being like, what are we going to do about this? Like, what are we going to do about like this? So, and obviously that's where it starts, like a public conversation and a public acknowledgement of the problem, which is something that has been severely lacking, is where it starts. And I'm very appreciative that it's starting to come out more and be talked about more. So I think that's where we start. As far as something I could specifically do about it in the legislature, I mean, it's a slippery slope. I mean, I really feel like people that are saying some of the most extreme things, you know, I'm going to say it out loud, and this is going to be clipped and go viral, and I'm going to be attacked for, you know, First Amendment. I don't think that spreading extreme, like in the extremist of the extreme language that has been shown to radicalize people is something that should be protected under the First Amendment. I just don't. Like, I really think that we should do something to control that, because it is very clearly caused a public health crisis and a public safety crisis. So there has got to be, at the government level, a conversation on how to remedy that. So did that answer your question?
Not really, and I don't want to push you too far, but I guess, like, if I could follow up without pushing you too far, is like, I guess, what are your thoughts, right? Because again, I'm telling you very clearly, right? We have the Black and brown community that are being labeled as certain things. Mm-hmm. My question was very poignant for a reason, and not to. And by the way, I'm a Democrat, but I think it's very important that these conversations are pushed, because this isn't happening, right? We are having these crimes that are happening in those communities that are just like, oh, they were young. Oh, they have a life ahead of them, right? But then we have 14, 15-year-olds that steal a pack of Skittles and their lives are thrown apart, right? Yeah. So my question is very poignant, and it's very poignant for a reason. And the reason I ask that is what your thoughts are on that, because the highest crime in this country comes from white individuals.
Yeah.
Facts.
The highest perpetrators of that is YT males. So the reason I ask that is because you are a border state, because I am a descendant of criminals, because my family has migrated into this country from the country south of this. broken legs and got into this country to give me a better life, and I was born here. It is very important for me. I may not live in Texas, but I know that people in Texas feel very strongly about this also. It's, as much as I appreciate your answer, I also just would love, even if you don't want to give your actual thoughts, like,
well, I mean, my thoughts are is that it's horrible. Yeah, that these men are being radicalized and it's being excused. Like, I mean, exactly what you're saying. Like, it's being excused. Because of the color of their skin, and that's absolutely horrible. I mean, exactly like you said. Like, they're young, they're this, they're that. Like, and the most frustrating thing is that it's really hard to. It has to be a culture shift. It has to be people, and unfortunately, it's going to be the people that it's not directly affecting that have to jump on and join the push to make the change.
It's going to be people that look like us, Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be people that look like us that are going to have to stand up and say, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And enough's enough.
Yeah. And so as far as like what I can do, I mean, because I do that. I do that to the point of, and this is actually kind of a good segue. I was attacked, which I kind of knew it was coming because my Twitter following has inexplicably, like, I've gained like 18,000 followers in like 10 months. No, it's crazy. And I just get on there and just say what I feel like everybody's thinking. And this morning I got put on the Libs of TikTok Twitter page that has, you know, if you don't know what that is, most people that are watching a political podcast on a Friday evening probably know what that is, but just the craziest person, one of very, very, very far right influencer person. Things that she has 4.5 million followers. She was one of the influencers that was invited to the White House for the Epstein binders. So this woman has been to the White House and she shared a post of mine. And when she does that, people that has happened to are known to be doxxed. Their employers are threatened. People will show up at their houses to actually like threaten them. So it has been a crazy day. And so I absolutely do stand up and I say the thing that shouldn't be controversial, but that there's not enough people saying out loud.
I think that the color of our skin definitely, and a lot of people that have the color of our skin don't believe that privilege exists, right?
Oh, yeah.
They don't believe that privilege exists, and we have to be the loud assholes that say it absolutely does, and this is why. And we have to be standing up for our neighbors. So I don't know if that answers your question, Sin, but I will tell you that I don't believe that for 1 second that you are the child of thugs and criminals for 1 second.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I wear red. Oh, there we go. But I guess here's what I'll say is just, if I could give a note, take it or don't. I don't care. No, I support you both. We're Democrats. We are here for a democratic fight. But this is just my. I'm gonna just brain bomb you. The initial question that was asked, it immediately went to women and then men, and then it changed into a different issue. The question was very poignant. And I think you're absolutely correct, Jess, in terms of, I absolutely believe that YT individuals are the ones that have to advocate for this fight, because we can scream. But
we're losing you a little bit, Sin.
But you are not. I'm in my sister's house and she has the worst Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
There you go. No, you came back, but we lost like the last 30 seconds.
You say it again. We want to hear it. It's important.
Fine. I'm in my sister's house. It's the worst service here. The point is just, I think that my question was very clear, and I think shifting to narratives of men and lonely epidemics when the question was clear, I think that was just a not great way to go. But outside of that, I don't know.
I think that was partly my fault because I didn't really understand the question. But it is a really important topic, and it's something that is as white people, at least as white Democrats, we're starting to realize the power that we have. Not that we, it's not like we. At least I can speak for myself. I don't want to have this power.
Yeah.
I just want to be like everybody else. But I will absolutely use it and do my best to lift up people who are more marginalized than I am. I'm a member
Yeah.
of the LGBTQ community. I'm a mom of a disabled child, but I absolutely think it's horrific what ICE is doing. I think it's absolutely horrific, and not for my kids. It's not the country that I want my kids to grow up in.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
gonna
do.
fight like hell to change it. So
Yeah, I want to just follow up on what Sin just said and just say we need more people like you giving feedback like you just gave to me, because you're absolutely right. I went to a different place. My mind, I work every day to try to recalibrate the way that I think about things. And it's feedback like you just gave that helps continue that. So thank you for just saying it out loud.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think that also, and I know that you have a lot going on, but I think as people that are running for a position of power or being elected in general, there is what you are fed, whether it's polls, whether it's whatever, but there's also the grassroots that you probably don't see. And a lot of that information that you're going to see, if you need assistance in that, there are avenues. I can point you to that. Somebody can point you to that in terms of getting things from a Reddit or feeds or whatever. What people are actually saying that are not in polls. People are speaking. I'm not the first one that's saying this. I'm trying to be very careful in the words that I'm saying because I'm on my last strike, so I'm not trying to be taken down forever.
No.
we don't want that. We don't want that, Sin.
But I'm not the only one that feels this way, right? I think it's especially because you are one very close to my state, but also you're a neighboring state. It's very impactful for me because my people come into your state. Legal or it doesn't matter. I don't care about it. My people come into your state. So how do you feel about the way that we are being? And that's why that question was poisoned that way. But it's not just me. And so I appreciate you saying that, but I'm not the only one saying this. People are screaming from the rooftops. We aren't heard in certain ways because, listen, there are so many people in this country that are speaking that cannot be heard, but they are being heard. I feel like sometimes we're just not you in specific, but people that are going into office maybe aren't taking other avenues in which individuals are speaking into account. It is polls, it is numbers, it is, X, Y, and Z to make whatever your campaign work. And this isn't, again, to you specific, but people speak. I'm not the first one that says it.
Yeah. Well, not only.
If you are worried about, you are more than welcome to please come into my DMs and share with me links and, post topics or maybe things I could follow on Reddit so I could become more educated on the things that you're talking about.
Well, here's the thing too, is that, you guys are speaking and there's videos out there. Like we know what's happening. We hear what's happening. We see what's happening. But so many people, especially people in power, they have their blinders on. They have tunnel vision. They only can see what's in front of them. They don't see everything else that's going on outside of that. And it's definitely something that we have to work to change, because as an elected official, we as single issue voters, we have voters, we have one issue that is important to us, whether it's women's rights, whether it's, gun violence, whether tool violence, we love the TikTok shop, whether it's, immigration, whatever it is. You as elected officials have to be tuned into all of it, not just education or healthcare or, voting rights. You guys have to be tuned into all of it. Your blinders have to come off. And I believe that is something that every person who's running for office has to understand. We can't, the tunnel vision, the blinder thing, it's not working anymore. So, yeah.
I won't take both any more of both of your times. I gotta go. I have a nephew next to me, and I have to go get beat up by him. So,
Sin, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you coming up and sharing your time with us. Thank you so much. And you're always, always, always welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. That's so funny, Mike. I'll have to Nope, that's really weird. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. It's my setup is strange. It's good times. So tell us a little bit more about by the way, we hit 40K and I gave Simon a treat. He's very grateful to you all. Thank you so much for tapping. So yes, tell us a little bit more about what happened today. And just to be clear, Libs of TikTok is not liberal. They're they're MAGA. They're
Yeah,
hardcore MAGA. Okay.
Yeah.
So just in case anybody has any any questions about that,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about what happened and what do you feel like as somebody who's running for office, how do you curtail that?
Well, I mean, I had to lock down my account and just kind of, honestly, you have to just kind of hide until it goes away. But another thing that was connected to it was circling back to talking about Ferris Wilkes and Tim Dunn, the man that used to manage their PAC. So one of the most far right extreme political figures in the state of Texas. He's not elected, but he runs a paper called the Texas Scorecard. I don't know if you're familiar with it or if you've ever had the displeasure of running across it. He quote tweeted her post, adding fuel to the fire. And so I messaged him directly and I said, that account is known for doxing people and actually leading to physical violence against people. I said, I actually live alone and I don't have the budget for private security. I was like, would you please take that down? So instead of taking the post down, he screenshotted my DM in which I exposed that I live alone and shared that on his page for his 100,000 followers.
You're kidding.
Mm-mm.
That's mature.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Actual dangerous level type of stuff. So yeah, so I have a patrol car sitting outside of my house right now. I made sure that all of my security cameras are charged and ready to go. And this is Texas. So I do employ the rights that are afforded to me by certain parts of the Constitution. And yeah, I'm a Texas Democrat, so I use all the amendments. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Hey, that's fine. That is,
But yeah, no, I mean, not just the Libs of TikTok. I kind of rolled my eyes when I saw. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. I knew this was coming. Like the bigger that my platform got, I knew eventually I'd end up on her page. But the post from his name's Michael Quinn Sullivan, but the post from him actually sent me into hysterical crying. I had to take deep breaths and calm down because I was like, oh wow, they're actually trying to get me killed. Actually trying to get me killed. That was hard to swallow.
Yeah. I think that is here's the thing, and we'll kind of transition this into our activist alley if you guys don't mind, because this is an important conversation. So we'll switch gears, and I want to invite up another badass woman to join us, if I can get my buttons to work.
While you're doing that, I just saw a question from Mike. I'm actually going to ask, or I'm going to answer real quick. Mike, my only advice, his question was, have you run any town halls yet? I'm about to run my first one tomorrow night, so any tips? And the answer is yes, I have. And the only advice I have is just be completely 100% authentic. And that's kind of my only thing. I don't have that was the one thing that Sin said, which is actually a little bit different. I don't run polls. I don't pull things. I'm not, polished or, checked for effectiveness or, anything. I say things from the heart and mean them from the heart. And I speak very passionately about issues because I'm actually passionate about issues. Like being a politician was never something that was in my, I'm 45 years old, like running for my first office ever. Like that's kind of late to get in the game if being a career politician was something that I ever planned on doing. And so, yeah, I mean, just speak passionately on the issues, but don't fake it. Like you actually have to be, passionate about the issues. So that's my only advice is just be yourself and don't try to be too polished or, poll checked or,
And the other thing too that you guys have to remember is that we are not perfect people. We're not and we are not people, we're not unflawed human beings, right? We are all flawed. We are wonderfully, horribly flawed people, right? And we're constantly learning, at least that should be our desire, to consistently learn and grow and evolve. We're not going to have the answers to everything right away. But if you have a desire to find out the answer and to serve, then I think you guys are going to be in a good spot. So, did that answer your question, Mike? I'm sure he's going to say yes. I hope. So while we are waiting for him to get back to us, let's go ahead and switch gears really quick because I want to talk about touch a little bit about what you just talked about and why we should not be afraid. We're going to go into our Activist Alley section, and we are inviting up an amazing activist, an amazing, wonderful activist from war-torn Portland, Oregon. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about why this is important. Ladies and gentlemen, happy No King's Eve, by the way. Kels, the floor is yours, my dear.
I love the picture.
Happy No King's Eve. And are we not excited for tomorrow?
Loving it.
I have a unicorn. I'm going as a unicorn.
Are you really?
I am. I have a unicorn, and I ordered I have a 3X campaign shirt. So I'm going as a blow up unicorn wearing my campaign shirt over the costume.
I love it.
That's very cool.
Take pics or it didn't happen.
Now I'm like, wait, we can put t-shirts on over these things? This is insane.
The world has
I
opened
have
up.
several of these in my house right now. I'm like, wait, what t-shirt do I have that? Nah, I don't have anything that big. But from Portland, hello, and I'm glad to see people taking the same initiative that we've used here to destabilize what I call a regime with some sense of humor, to be able to just let them see, like let the world see how crazy they look. And that's kind of been our motive here in Portland, is just like, let's show the world who we really are, because we are Portland. Our logo for the city, and we are the city of roses, is keep it weird. And we're going to, and I think it's working. I think the world is watching, and they're, one, entertained, and two, questioning, I guess, the regime as to like, why are you bothering Portland? What did they do?
Right.
And what it ultimately comes down to is that they lease a building from us, and that building belongs to the city of Portland, and they violated the terms of the lease. And we said, okay, you got to go because we don't want you here. You violated the terms of the lease. And we had agreements like you would not hold people overnight because that building is not that type of facility. You wouldn't use gas that's illegal to use in the United States, and you're using gas on peaceful protesters that is illegal to use. And so we said, you got to go. And then a couple days later, not even 72 hours later, Trump said, Portland is on fire. And they need to have the National Guard come in. So for us, it's a fight for human rights, and we will always stand and fight for human rights. And we've been really successful in that. By fighting and being out there and peacefully protesting, we've taken away money
that they can use to go and disappear people into our communities or out of our communities. And that's been something that we are proud of, and that's why we are doing it. So the more we can push back and like use peaceful resistance to disrupt what they would normally be able to do, the more we're going to do it. So it's that whole do not comply early, do not comply with anything that this regime is doing, because it's not okay. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. Tomorrow is going to be over, what is it, 3,200 events throughout the nation. And the entire world is going to be protesting in conjunction. And this is what is going to be probably historically the biggest protest in the history of the world, with the expected number of 10 million people, which is insane. June 14th, we saw 5 million, and that was the lowball number. I think it was 7 million that came out in June for the first Snow Kings. And now we're going to see like that number double. And I think it's going to be exponentially more than that. I think people are infuriated. I think people are receiving the letters from their insurance companies that their insurance is going for my insurance is going up 300%.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so just like tripled. So I think people are starting to understand that we're otherwise not engaged in politics, or otherwise maybe they voted for Trump. They're starting to wake up, and I think that is important. And I think that's why you're seeing like such a base of people rally. I also think people are tired of seeing people get harmed in their communities and disappeared and unalived, and that's something that I think all of us can agree on is not acceptable. Seeing a 4-year-old in handcuffs, not it. That's just not it.
Nope.
Seeing the attack on, freedom of speech, also, that's just not it. We're not dealing with things as normal. So it's like a fight like hell time. And if people don't understand that it's fight like hell time, they've been sleeping.
Yeah, and I will say that a lot of people are saying like they're going to do sketchy stuff tomorrow and we need to be afraid and this is kind of what I was tagging on to your experience today, Sarah, is that they want us to be afraid. That is the point. The cruelty is the point. The fear is the point. They want us to be afraid. They want us to shut up, and they want us to let them do what they need to do, And why are we making so much noise about it? Why don't we just let them do what they need to do? And I'm sorry, pardon my French in advance, fuck that shit. Absolutely not. I will not be afraid. I will not be, they're going to have to do a hell of a lot more to get me to shut up, because I will not. Not for my daughter, not for my family, not for myself. They want us to be scared, because the fear leads to panic, and panic leads to inaction. And I will be damned if I'm going to sit back and let them take a steamroller and just roll over everybody that I care about. That's not going to happen. So, yeah.
But at this point, there's no sense in staying at home and sitting on the couch and thinking that that's going to keep you safe either. Because there's no proof that staying disengaged with your head in the sand and playing ostrich, it doesn't work. Because your rights are still being removed. You're still in harm's way. And that's, I think, something that has changed. Like, the narrative in the beginning of the year was, I'm a part of this group, or I'm a part of that group, and this doesn't affect me, or I'm not going to get involved because I'm sitting this one out. No, and I always push back on that. This is everyone's fight. This is everyone's fight. If you're American, or if you're dual, like for me, I'm a dual citizen. I have options. I could leave this country and on a whim and be fine. But then again, if everybody that had those options or had the ability financially to do that, who's left fighting? It's everyone's fight.
I will say that Dan says that standing against it is required, but the cost can be high. And I will say that the cost of silence is higher. So
Excuse me.
I think it's important now more than ever that we go out and make our voices heard, if for no other reason than to give a giant resounding fuck you to this bullshit.
I don't think the cost is high for not standing up tomorrow. I think the cost, like what you just said, is much, much higher for not standing up. And I think that people should do what they feel that they can do, go the distance that you will personally be okay with going. For me, if this fight makes me a martyr, I'm good with it. My family isn't. They know how I feel. And I'm one of those people that has the bruises and all the welts from the pepper balls and the canisters and all the different things. And I know what that looks like for me. And I know what that fear, like the fear that brings my family. But I think they also understand who I am and how far, like, I will take the fight. And I think that there needs to be more people. It's weird to me that it's a lot of women, by the way. Women are always on the front lines right now. And I'm like, wait, what? Excuse me, where are the men?
The moms are going to save us. Allison Mitchell said that last week. She said the moms are going to save us. She's absolutely right. The moms are going to save us. So, yeah, we're not fucking around anymore.
Right.
So.
I met Allison.
It's always women. So, I mean, like, I just the other day, there was a woman not too far from Portland. She's in Hillsborough. And she used her voice. She used her vehicle. She stopped ICE from disappearing people in her neighborhood. And she called on her neighbors to do the same. And they did. And she led the pack. And that was amazing. Like a moment of where she was by herself and she did not care. And she stood up and she took action. And she prevented somebody from being disappeared in her community that moment. And that was powerful. But it was just a woman by herself with her voice and, you know, just using her car to block traffic. But it's things like that. I'm always seeing these women on the front lines making the biggest plays. And I got to say, men, step it the fuck up. Seriously.
I will say, Rachel says, if tomorrow is just to gather and hold signs, I don't see the point at this point in the game. And I will say that you are definitely missing the point. And I would encourage you to do a little bit more digging and to do a little more research, because the point of tomorrow is not just to stand around and hold signs. The point of tomorrow is to gather community, to join together and to send a very clear and very unmistakable message to this regime. You know as well as I do that after tomorrow is over, old DD Dumpy Pants is going to be in his feels on his Truth Social, whining and crying like a little titty baby. So
they're already doing it. Doing it. Yeah, all the major Republican, leaders are already doing it, calling it rally.
The fact that they're calling us, and this, let's be completely clear, they're calling American people a terrorist group, and I have to say it that way because we're on this app, but that's what they're doing. People that are, who believe in the Constitution, who want to uphold the Constitution. And when did that all change, by the way? Because it wasn't the GOP that used to always be the constitutionalists and be like out there like, you want to take our 2A away. But suddenly, like, it's totally fine to take the rest of the Constitution away. I don't know. Call me crazy. But it's that. He's enraging the right to attack the left. And it's that type of like lack of leadership that he implements constantly, which demonstrates why he shouldn't be in office whatsoever. But at the end of the day, people are going to be out and they're going to come together and they're going to organize, they're going to network, they're going to share ideas, they're going to plan, they're going to schedule dates, they're going to plan to keep their communities safe, provide for their communities, provide for the most vulnerable and marginalized in their communities. And that's what happens when you're out there. So if you're not experiencing that, then you're just not paying attention. Because that's what happens here. I mean, we make sure that our food banks are full. We make sure that the most vulnerable and the houseless that are in our communities are the most protected. We're moving into the winter. We make sure people that are on fixed incomes that don't have the ability to pay these increased energy costs have help and assistance. We take care of Oregonians first. And that's what we're doing here. So that's a huge piece of being out there tomorrow. And also getting people out to vote, because this November, that's a huge piece of being out there tomorrow. And also getting people out to vote, because this November...
That's me. Sorry. That was me. So ladies and gents, and everyone in between, I just want to introduce V to the panel as well. Hello, my badass friend. She's another amazing badass woman on the right side of history who wants to talk a little bit more about what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah,
Hi,
so one of the things, hi, how are you ladies? How are you?
Hello.
One of the things that hello. So one of the things that I definitely want to say, and in kind of piggybacking on what Kels was saying, is that one thing that the right always does very well, and this is about the only thing that I think they do well, and that is propaganda. And so I saw some people actually talking about it and saying, what's the point? Why should we even do this? It's too late in the game. The thing is that they want you to feel that way because they're so good at propaganda. If we don't speak up, they're so used to us just kind of taking and trying to, turn the other cheek and just continue to go. And they're not ready for what it is that we've been doing. And they're just wanting us to go ahead and stay quiet because it's what we've always done. We've always gone ahead and just taken whatever they have. And we're always trying to play by the rules. And it's no longer that time. And if we don't take the time now to do what we're doing, and if we don't stand up, and if we don't make them realize that we are done with that era, we're just, especially like for me, I'm a Gen Xer, and I don't give two flying fucks. Come for me. I don't care. Like freaking come for me. I literally, obviously I'm Hispanic, right? And I'm just waiting to be pulled over by ICE. I honestly believe that it's going to happen. And oh my gosh, I'm like, oh, please, come get me. Because that's where I'm at. You have to freaking fight. If you do not fight and stand up for your right party, no, I'm just kidding. If you don't stand up for your rights now, you're not going to have any rights later on. And I understand that it seems hopeless, and trust when I tell you that a lot of us feel like that when we wake up with dread, but we have to. And it is the women that are going to save us. I cannot tell you how many times I have not seen a man stand up the way that a woman has. And I will stand 10 toes down and say that a woman is stronger than any man 50 times over. So it is going to be the women that save us. And it's time for women to be in office across the board, because this is the only way that this shit is going to stop. Mm-hmm. So it's our time to rise. So the people that are afraid, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of is what I want to know, because it's our time.
And they can't arrest all of us. They can't arrest all of us.
They can't.
Oh
they cannot arrest all of us.
That's what I keep saying. I'm like, there are 20,000 frozen water agents in the United States. There are 330 million citizens. Mm-hmm. And I am not, because I posted the same thing on Twitter, and someone was like, oh, you're organizing whatever against, no, I'm not. I'm just making an observation that if there was a big enough outcry, we definitely have the numbers. So,
And that's why they think that, and I think that that's why they think that there's more of them than there are of us, because they've been louder than we have.
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
And that's been our biggest mistake, is that we have been quiet. And that time's over. That shit has passed. That ship has sailed. Mm-hmm. It is not time for that anymore. And it's never going to be that time again. Once this era is going to have to continue on, and we're going to have to continue to go down this road, because they don't know how to, I miss the days of like, when a Republican was truly a Republican and there were just like these fair fights or trying to be fair fight. I miss those days. Like I would take a George Bush 50 times over before I took this orange orangutan again. Like I cannot.
George Bush is kind of pushing it. I'm more of a John McCain.
Listen,
John McCain.
I would take that.
Mitt Romney.
Gladly, I will take that.
Like
That
please come
and
back
the
to
Greg
normal?
Abbotts of the world, they all need to go. Every one of those suckers needs to go. And the Ted Cruzes of the world, oh my God, no,
Oh, he's so sniveling.
I
How does
cannot.
he keep winning? I just don't understand.
Oh, for the love of everything, I have no idea because they hate him here. They hate him.
It's cheating. I fully believe
It's gotta
it.
be. Yeah.
I fully believe it. So, I mean, oh my God, I cannot. Because they do. We all hate him. We all hate him.
Yep.
It's insane to me.
I will tell you though, I will tell you that I have gone on record several times in several public spaces, and I'll do it again here, that if Ken Paxton wins this primary, Texas will have the first Democratic senator that we've had in 30 years.
Thank
I
goodness,
cannot
because
believe- I cannot believe that the far right has latched on to such a disgusting. There's no way, like because it's only the far right that votes in the primaries, and so he may do some stupid enough stuff, or they may be actually dumb enough to get him through that primary. There's no way he plays in the general. People hate him. Like they actually. Well, I mean, they hate Ted Cruz too, but Ted Cruz is sniveling, but he's never done anything like, at least it appears that he's like a good family man. Ken Paxton, like he has multiple mistresses, use taxpayer dollars to redo his kitchen. Like he started out as a lawyer and now he's like a multi-millionaire after getting into government. Oh, I wonder how. Like it's just, yeah, he will never play in the general. Like I can't believe they're actually, and you know what? They want to get rid of John Cornyn because he went against Trump one time. We think our liberal purity tests are bad. Those MAGA purity tests are absolutely
brutal,
bonkers. Yeah.
I don't even know how people. I mean, I know that what you're saying as far as like Ted Cruz. It seems like that maybe he's a good family man. But here's the thing about that. I don't know if you ever saw him actually. Like his daughter was getting off of a bus or something like that, and she just he tried to give her a kiss, and she was just like.
Oh yeah,
like, even your own child doesn't like you.
Yeah,
like
she hates him.
There's something seriously wrong there. Like I understand that kids can be kids. There has never been a single time in my kids. I mean, I could literally bring them up and they never would have done that to me.
Never.
In a million years. So that tells me so much about him. How is it that an 8-year-old? She looked like she was around 8 when that happened. That there is no 8-year-old that acts that way. Mm-mm. There just isn't. Maybe as a teenager and stuff like that, but at that age, no.
Yeah.
There's something seriously wrong with that man.
I will say this. This regime is going to throw everything at the wall because they will not have another crack at this. They absolutely will not get another crack at this. So they're going to do everything they can with the Supreme Court, and they're going to try to take away voting rights. They're going to make it so that it's really, really, really hard to vote. And then when you do vote, you're going to have to watch that like a hawk because it's not going to be clear. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Safe language.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
they're going to do everything to intimidate, to meddle, to all of the things. They're pulling every single lever that they have. Mm-hmm. And there is no better time for us to get involved than right now because they're pulling every single lever. We have to do exactly the same thing. Because they're not going to get another chance at this. Once we take over, once we change the House, it is over for them. And they know that.
Yeah.
So
we're going to swing this pendulum. This pendulum swing back is going to be so hard. That pendulum's going to swing us all the way to universal health care and free college. You watch.
I think that we need to swing the pendulum and then we need to break that bitch. Like, seriously. I'm done with the swinging pendulum. I'm ready. I'm ready for this country to actually work for the people that live here instead of the 1% who keep squeezing us like there's some kind of blood coming out of a stone. It's ridiculous. So,
well, I think that they're fighting. The reason that they're throwing everything against the wall right now is because they know that when he goes down, they all go down with him.
Oh yeah.
And they're all going to that big gray house up in, they're all going down. They think that that's why they're going to, these are desperate people being placed in a corner, and it's like an animal being placed in a corner, and they're doing everything to fight back. So they're gonna do anything and everything. And right now they're trying to scare us, but we have to keep remembering that we are so much bigger, so many more than we are, so much stronger than they can ever pretend to be.
Yeah.
I see so many conservatives like on TikTok, and they have is like scare tactics. Like that's all. They don't, and the talking points are completely ridiculous. When I go and I watch like debates between, some really intelligent people talking and having MAGA come up and actually talk and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like you can't even like articulate a thought when it comes to a particular subject. You come up and you're like, I don't know about that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't like, listen, if I'm going to come up and I'm going to debate somebody that has like, more than 2 brain cells, I'm going to be prepared. They don't even know any of the things, any of the talking points that they're talking about, and they don't know how to go ahead and articulate them. And it's not even about articulating. It's about the fact that they just listen to whatever vomit comes out of that orange orangutan's mouth. And all they do is regurgitate it, and never have they ever literally gone and researched a single point. Not one.
It's so funny that you say that, because I was talking to a friend of mine about how like the things that they put out are so shallow that they can be debunked with like peeling just one layer of the onion, and the whole thing falls apart. And I'm like, we're not even talking about a deep dive. We're literally talking just one layer of the onion. And my friend replied, they're like, that's because they're not working with an onion, they're working with a rock. Like there's no depth to anything. It's propaganda. It's propaganda. That is
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. They're better at it than we are.
Yeah, they are indoctrinated. Like it's actually what this will be in psychology textbooks for generations to come. How to brainwash a nation. That something similar has happened in history before, and they didn't learn from it. And how to brainwash a nation. There will be books upon books upon books.
Well, how bad is it when Tucker Carlson actually comes out and says that Fox News is only an entertainment channel, and it is there to go ahead and keep the older generation scared. That he literally said that. Like never in my wildest dreams would I have ever agreed with him and some of the things that he's ever said. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who again twice already I've been like, okay, I accept that, because oh my gosh, that woman, she's like ultra MAGA, and she's been doing some stuff, but I mean, I know she's self-serving, so I'm not giving her any props for anything. But I mean, when these people are literally going ahead and saying some of the things that we know for a fact are true, and the fact that they don't see that, and they just literally just regurgitate the same exact things that I've even heard some women come out and say, well, if he did that, if he essayed one of my children, I guess would be hard, but I would forgive him.
I know. Oh my God, I know. People need to check on those women's children, because they're the type of people that stay with abusers after the person has abused their child. Like that
person would not be alive. Like they would have to be going and searching in different places for them. Like it would take us several places for them to go and find all of them. Like I'm not even, oh my God. Who says that about their own child, especially a mom?
When I come across comments like that, I do my best to tell myself it's a bot, because there's just certain levels of humanity I just I just don't want to accept that they exist. And I know that.
Oh, I've seen them in actual face-to-face interviews. They're not even like actually people going and putting a mic up to a person, and I'm like, what?
They get paid for that kind of. They get paid for it. So I mean, when you see stuff like that in your chat and stuff, and you see that kind of just nonsense, I mean, don't give them oxygen, because they're getting paid to get a reaction, and it's ridiculous. We have more important things to do. We have more important things to work on, don't we, guys? Simon, it's 65 and you get a treat. Come here, bubs.
Yeah. I was just looking at that.
Thank you, guys. He's very grateful. He's very grateful. Kels, can you talk to us a little bit?
or for another treat.
Yes. All the doggos get treats right now. Kels, can you talk to us about phone banking and what you guys are doing with the Blue Sue group? Because I think that's really, really important too.
So Blue Sue is a organization that was started the week after the election in 2024. And it was started by a group of people who were really involved with Harris's campaign and worked Harris's campaign. And we've gone like kind of full circle in the last year, because now we've evolved into an actual organization. And what we're doing is we do the same thing just as we interview candidates. We build teams and communities of volunteers for candidates, progressive Democratic candidates, and we lend resources in regards to campaign funding and resources into phone banking. And what we're doing right now is we're paying close attention to a couple of elections that are happening throughout the country. Obviously, Prop 50 in California is important, but I have no doubts, and political analysis would show that that's passing. Ma'am Donnie is winning. But two things that need a lot of attention right now are Virginia and New Jersey, and getting out the vote in Virginia and New Jersey. So what we do is we phone bank every single day, and we do phone bank for special elections like that are happening in Georgia, and we do phone banking for mainly Virginia and New Jersey right now. But we do on Tuesday nights phone banking for Prop 50. Another election that nobody's paying attention to that has the potential to flip a seat in a place that would normally not have a Democratic candidate is in Tennessee, where they just had their primaries and where they will be having a special election on December 2nd. So the next 30 days, the next month and a half, there's so many pivotal elections happening across the nation. So reminding people to get out the vote, making sure that they have, their voter registration is in and they're good, and then making sure they have a plan to vote and take friends and family with them and let others know there are elections happening. Don't just pay attention every 4 years. Be involved, because this is where the people that you will be electing will be the people in your community. But for Virginia and New Jersey, this is officially the start of the midterms. So for everybody who says, oh, I'm going to get involved with that, once midterms come around, or like blah, 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 I'll help in 2026 when the midterms start. Enough is enough. Like, midterms have started. This is where they started. So they call them delegates in Virginia, and there's so many people that are up for elections. Not to be confused with what I am, which is a state delegate with the DNC, but what they are doing, like, these are their House of Representatives. So they're electing new people right now, and a governor.
Yeah, and that matters. I mean,
Yeah,
every election matters.
Yeah, we have. So I had mentioned earlier that I helped work on the Katy ISD school board election back in May. Well, the other school district in my house district is the Cy-Fair ISD, or Cypress Fairbanks. We call it Cy-Fair. Their school board election is actually this November with the general election. So we're doing some get out the vote at No Kings tomorrow. We're passing out push cards, and because what better place to reach voters? People who, they're using their Saturday to let their voices be heard. And so we're going to let them know, hey, you want to let your voice be heard. We actually have a way to do it right now. Like, because early voting in Texas starts Monday. So we're doing get out the vote during No Kings. So
early voting has already started in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Early voting has already started in Georgia. I know you guys are, up on the list. Early voting has already started here in Oregon, but we do mail-in voting. We have been doing mail-in voting since before I was born.
You lucky duck. You lucky duck.
Yeah, we do have it pretty good here. So I got my ballot in the mail, and it's just a matter of just dropping it off either at a drop box or just throwing it in the mail. And how we've been doing it for decades. Like I said, since before I was even born.
Kels, can you talk about how easy it is to phone bank?
Oh,
I think a lot of people are
There's
like
a lot
super
of people that are intimidated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Scared.
mean, for me, I have a lot of fun. I'm using obviously what's going on as a way to break the ice. And so when I call people, I say, hey, I'm volunteering for Virginia. Like, for instance, Virginia, I'm volunteering for Virginia tonight to get out the vote. And I don't live in your state, but it's really important what you do in your state how it's going to affect the nation in the next couple of months. And that's true. Ultimately, what happens in Virginia, what happens in New Jersey is going to have a huge impact on whether or not we take back control of the House. We've won 4 elections, special elections in the last 7 weeks. We're continuing that like push, that blue tsunami, which is where blue Sue comes from. The T is silent. And we're continuing that push to get more progressive Democrats elected, but also engage people in the process. So I just remind them, like, hey, what you have happening there is going to affect the entire country. And can you get out the vote? And they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, Portland, the war-torn city.
Yeah.
And then it becomes it becomes that icebreaker, and they're just like, oh, well, is it like, they're like, he's crazy. And I'm like, I know. Like, but like, we need you to vote. I know he's crazy, but like, I need you to vote. So yeah, it's so easy. And I mean, yeah, do I get people that hang up on me? And I'm like, yeah, but like, I get my little like sweet revenge because I just I push the button to call them back later. So like, that's fine, hang up on me. But you know what? Somebody is going to be calling you back later, and they will. They will call. They're just calling every day until the election. So I don't know. It's not the end of the world. Like, if you can get up on a panel and talk in front of strangers, you can definitely phone bank.
It is so much better for your soul than doom scrolling. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are tired of the doom scrolling, and you really should be, volunteer your time to phone bank. And it will, not only is it going to invigorate your resolve, and it's going to give you the juice you need to keep going, but you don't have to keep your eyeballs focused on the bullshit, right? So
Jeff, that was such a good point. We've been doing, every weekend, we've been doing joint block walks. My campaign has been doing joint block walks with the Cypher ISD school board candidates. And every weekend, people are getting more, like, the closer it gets to the election, people are getting more and more excited. The internet will drain you. Talking to people in real life fills you right back up. Like, there is no match for having direct face-to-face conversations with people who are scared and energized and ready to break down brick walls to fight back and to get our country back. There's nothing keeps you going like that. So just like you said, phone bank, there's text banking if you're not a big fan of talking to people. Or if you're not a big fan of talking on the phone, not talking to people, but talking on the phone. And then, of course, if it's a local thing, sign up for a block walk. I'm telling you, you don't have to go alone. A lot of times people will pair up. I usually go alone because I like to hit a larger area than, because a lot of the volunteers, may only have an hour or 2 hours anyway. So, but you can pair up, you go, you knock on doors, and you have face-to-face conversations where people are not hiding behind a screen. I've never, ever been called even half of it. My mute list, my muted words list on Twitter is like up to like 20 words at this point. And not a single one of those words has anyone ever said to my face. So,
well, your first problem was going onto Twitter, because
I know.
It's
crazy because, you start running for office and you set up campaigns on all the socials. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Oh,
it is,
like
yeah.
Facebook. I will say that this generation is really weird. When the phone rings, we're like, who died? We love the TikTok shop. I keep forgetting. But maybe text banking is the way for you to, if you don't want to talk on the phone, you can text bank. There are things you can do to help out. And the other thing I wanted to touch on too is how important it is to use your voice. Not only when you're phone banking and when you're text, but when you're grocery shopping, you want to use your voice. And you may not be able to, stand in the middle of the frozen food section next to the peas and shout how much you hate this fucking regime. But you can always get a shirt. You can always wear your voice. Okay? My shirt says, "Sorry, our president is a bag of dicks." That's what my shirt says. You can wear your voice, and that is equally as impactful. Because not only does it tell other people around you exactly where you stand in history, but it also gives people like your allies are going to look at you and say, "Ah, I see somebody there that I can talk to and I can trust and I feel safe around." And that is so incredibly important. So I would definitely, if you need some stuff like that, you can go to Not Your Merch and they will hook you up. They have the most amazing designs. They're incredibly wonderful people. It's a Latina owned, women owned business. They're incredibly hardworking and incredibly amazing people. I'm so grateful for them. I've bought a ton of stuff from them, and
I love you, Jess.
I'm wearing their buttons right now. I think you guys need to have patches. I need some patches, okay? Just an idea. But yeah, you guys are incredible. That's V right down there. Fabulous Finds. Please follow her. Kel's amazing resource for all of your political activism needs. Blue Sue Group. I just made her big so you guys can go follow her. Also, she is incredible. And of course, our candidate, who is an amazing candidate. She's an amazing, badass, powerful woman. She's going to make waves and flip the Texas House on its side. So as we are closing up tonight, I want to thank you guys so much for joining the panel. Kels and V, you guys are incredibly amazing. And I am so grateful for both of you. You are welcome here anytime. Okay? Anytime.
Jess.
Let's do this again. It's been super fun. We're getting close to time.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it was great. So before we go, though, Sarah, I would love for you to tell the folks how they can get involved and how they can support you in your run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, liking or obviously following on socials, sharing all posts. That's the first thing you can do. Sharing my website. It's McGee4TX.com. So McGeeForTX.com. And then there is no donation that is too small. I have a great union printer up here that's going to do my yard signs for $2 a pop. So if you want to send me one yard sign, $2, and really will just make all the difference in the world. Because for anybody that's watching now that wasn't watching before, I have made a very, very, very strong commitment to only make this a grassroots campaign. I will not be taking any corporate PAC money or any foreign influence PAC money now or ever. I don't have political aspirations beyond the Texas House because my back-breaking camel moment was to get to Austin and defend the community I grew up in. But if for some reason, I'm driven in a different direction, that will always remain the case. Always. I will never compromise my values for a political position. I just won't.
Let me ask you a really tough question, and this is going to get clipped and shared throughout the interwebs, all the way through Beyonce's internet. So I want to know, as you worked for Colin Allred's campaign, Colin Allred or James Tallarico?
James Tallarico. I do. Yeah. I love Colin. I really do. He's a great guy. And having conversations with him face to face, he genuinely does care. But I've also met James Tallarico, and I can say the exact same thing for him. And he has the energy, and he is definitely igniting the base. I think he is the man for this moment. And so that is the reason for that.
Amazing.
For that decision. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
It's the first time I've gone on the record with that, by the way. So
That's amazing. No offense, Colin. We love you, ma'am.
yeah, really, none. I promise.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. But for this moment.
For this moment, this is what we need. Agreed. And this is just a reminder, folks, it's no secret how we feel about big money in politics. We want candidates who are going to serve the people, not special interests, but that money has to come from somewhere. Even if it's just a follow, sharing their content gets more eyes on them. So whether it's your wallet or your time, do whatever you can to help push these grassroots candidates across Beyonce's internet, and you can do that for free. Or you can buy Sarah a cup of coffee or a yard sign. We are about 10K away from another treat, and Simon's looking at me like, what the hell, Mom? So you all need to get to tapping while we are, we got 10K left before we close out here. So I'll try to stretch as much as I can. Simon.
I saw somebody in the comment ask when the you answered it's the 2026 election. So the primary is in March. I do not have a primary challenger that has announced themselves, and considering how I have not just flooded the zone, I have tsunamied the zone in my district. So I would be really surprised if one popped up at this point. But so I don't have a primary challenger. I already have my eyes on the general, and getting rid of the guy. He doesn't even go here. He's from Jersey. No offense to anyone from Jersey, but we don't need someone that was from Jersey trying to make laws for Texans. It just doesn't work that way.
That's the reason I'm not running right now, is I'm from California and they would tar and feather me. So that's why we're doing this instead in this moment.
But only Democrats though, because it's okay. Yeah. Like, Dan Patrick is from Maryland, and apparently that's fine. But if there was a Democrat from Maryland, we would be a carpetbagger. So,
Right.
Such is the life of a Texas Democrat.
It's a challenge for sure. It's never a dull moment. Yeehaw! I would be remiss if I didn't send a special thank you to the amazing content creators, activists, Kels, fabulous, my friend, V, and our incredible design genie, K-Law. Thank you guys so much for your support and your continued working on all of the right things. It's amazing. I want you guys to follow all of these people. Send them and our candidates some well-deserved love in the comments. Make sure you're following us too for more grassroots action. We have grassroots action Mondays and Fridays at 6:30 Eastern. We are having all kinds of amazing grassroots candidates who are coming in here and who are meeting this moment. And it is so important that we give them as much of our attention as we possibly can. We are still a baby endeavor. We are a brand new show. We're doing everything we can to grow our presence, and so we can help as many of these people as possible. It really does take a village, and we need every single one of you. Make sure that you are still registered to vote, and keep an eye on the election schedules in your area, because they're doing some hinky shit, you guys. You can check
the voter registration. Check.
You can check your voter registration by going to vote.gov, and I never, ever, ever thought that I would have to say this, but you're also going to need to follow your choice after the competition, because they're purchasing machines, and we want to make sure that every choice is counted the way that it's intended. So we have to be extra, extra vigilant. Remember, they're pulling all the levers. We're going to have to do exactly the same thing.
Hey Jess, while we're waiting for these likes, circle back and tell me about your radiology experience. What made me think about it, I just had a text pop up on my phone. One of my techs that I work with, she is one of the interventional radiology techs. She took her interventional radiology registry today and passed. So
congratulations to her. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So I worked at a hospital group in California for 17 years in the radiology department. I was their administrative assistant. So I supported all of diagnostic imaging, not just radiology, but interventional radiology, neuroradiology, ultrasound, MRI, CT, all of diagnostic imaging I supported. It was about 300 employees across two different major hospitals and about 7 different mobile sites.
That's awesome. Is actually not the coolest thing ever. I'm obsessed with my job. Yeah, being able to see inside people's bodies is just the coolest thing on the planet.
It was super cool, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And COVID happened, and we lost 9 people that we worked with during that pandemic. And when you are in the sauce, when you are in the fire, and you are like jumping from frying pan to frying pan in the middle of a global pandemic, there is no time to grieve. There is no time to process. I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Pit on HBO. I would highly suggest that you guys watch The Pit on HBO, because it captures the amount of PTSD that healthcare workers have, especially emergency healthcare workers, are living through today because of what happened back then. It doesn't get talked about enough. It doesn't get enough attention, but there are so many people who are going through they're living in the soup because of what happened. And after that, they moved me from radiology. They put me in charge of the COVID response team. I was responsible for setting up all of the clinics, all of the testing clinics, all of the vaccination clinics, all of I was manning them. I was pulling long hours. We were doing everything that we possibly could to keep people alive. And then people were like, well, I'm not going to wear a mask because it infringes upon my rights. And I can't tell you how many nurses were throwing their arms up enraged because they had to test every day. Like, it was insane. Not to mention that COVID almost killed me. So after COVID happened, I was kind of like, maybe healthcare's not for me. And I decided to get into voice acting, and I've been having a blast with that ever since. And, here we are. So radiology is amazing. It's so much fun. And, but I after 17 years, I retired because I just couldn't do it anymore. There was no more juice.
Yeah. Well,
The
and
cave was
that's,
empty.
yeah. And not just, I mean, that is an incredibly common story post-COVID with healthcare workers, which is why, did you know, I don't know, not a lot of people, but up to 30, at our height, at our peak, up to 30% of our nursing workforce were nurses that were here on visas. They were foreign workers who gave of their time to come to the United States and try to save Americans from dying of COVID. Up to 30% were here on visas. And now post-COVID, we're still in a healthcare worker shortage. Like we were in a healthcare worker shortage before COVID. And so, post-COVID, an absolutely horrible healthcare worker shortage. And so that just adds another layer to the danger of these absolutely wackadoodle immigration actions that they're taking right now. Like it's putting the entire country in danger. And that, going back to peeling the onion, when you keep seeing people, send them all back, send them all back, send them all back. Okay, well, when your local hospital closes because they can't find nurses, to work there, and you have to drive an hour while you're having a stroke as opposed to 15 minutes like you used to, how are you going to feel about, what you just said?
And
they don't
they're closing.
They don't think about it. They don't even start to think about it.
Well, they're closing all the rural hospitals too. Like, I live in a rural area. That's going to impact me. That sucks. We got 1K left, guys. He's looking at me. He's like, come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. We're almost there. I think we're close enough. It's fine. It's fine.
We're going to get to your 80. We're going to get to your 80. Look at that. Look at that. Only 900 to go.
900 to go. No, they still don't believe that it'll happen. I think that their privilege has wrapped them in a bubble and thinking that, these things are not going to impact them when they absolutely will impact them. And when it does, you're already starting to hear some of them say, well, that's just part of his plan. And it's all part of his plan. And we're all going to feel a little bit of pain, but it's going to be okay. And it's like, babe, like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Simon.
Yay, puppy. Woohoo. Yeah, I wasn't getting off until that dog got another treat.
Come on, Bubs. Come on. There's a good boy. All right. Thank you guys so much. This was such an inspiring show, and I really, really appreciate all of you. I know we have a lot of folks who are really scared right now, but I want to remind everybody that the fear is the point. The fear is the point. Fear leads to panic. Panic leads to inaction, and we will not comply in advance, y'all.
Yeah.
So with your full chest, abso-fucking-lutely not. A hope and community are the antidote for all of it, and you will find that tomorrow when you go out to a parade. Okay? You will be able to network, and it will fill up your cup, and you will know you are not alone in this absolute insanity. So join us on Monday. We have an amazing candidate coming up from another one from Texas. Texas is a big state, y'all. Texas is a big state. And we have another one from Texas, but they're running for a congressional district down south. He's incredible, and I can't wait to have him on. So I hope, Sarah, you will join us for that because he's amazing. And you guys should definitely at least connect. So
Who is it?
His name is Anthony. No, his name is William.
Okay.
William Marks, I believe is his name. Yes, William Marks. He's amazing. Yes, everybody go to a parade tomorrow, okay? So William Marks will be joining us on Monday. He is incredible. He's written a book. He's all over the place. He's amazing. And I believe, Kels, you guys are going to be talking to him on Monday as well. So Monday's going to be a busy day for him. It's going to be great. Be sure to follow us on our Substack, Spotify, and our Tube of You. And if I could make a really quick plea, we would absolutely love it if you could just pop right over there, wherever you catch your podcasts, and leave us a review. It would really help us get more eyes on our content. The dates have been chosen for the People's Sick Day. Sarah, do you know what the People's Sick Day is?
I do. I hadn't seen the dates yet.
They have not been announced, but they have been chosen. They will be announced 48 hours beforehand so that it can be like a stealthy sort of interruption. So stealthy strike. We don't want them to be able to plan for this 3-day economic and labor blackout. So if you are interested in joining the People's Sick Day, go to thepeoplesickday.com to learn more. It is an incredibly important cause, and I think everybody needs to be involved if we can. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We really,
You can
really
also
appreciate
find them
you.
in the Blue Sue website too.
Yes, they're part of Blue
It
Sue as
links
well.
it links you to it actually will take you right into the Discord of the People's Sick Day. And if you're still looking for an event in your area, the No Kings link is there as well with a map of all the locations and the information with all the candidates that are working with Blue Sue.
That's incredible. You guys are so organized. I'm still trying to get my shit together.
No, other people are, not me.
You're like,
No,
not
no, no, no.
me. No, I don't take it. I don't take any credit for that. So also, guys, if you could follow the It Takes a Village account, it is the one right here with all of Sarah's donation information on it. We are trying to grow that account so we can do some amazing things like, I don't know, bring you guys some merch at some point. Wouldn't that be cool? And that would give us a little bit more ability to support these amazing candidates like Sarah. So you guys are incredible. I really, really, really appreciate you. I am so thankful for you coming on, Sarah, Kels, V. All of you guys are welcome anytime, okay? And Sarah will be in touch. So thank you guys so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to add before we go, Sarah?
No, this has been amazing. I love it. I loved the people that joined. Just, it's another example of, it's so important to keep having things like this because we need the fuel. We need the community. We need the conversations. We need the fuel. We need the hope. And every single, you are a big part of that. You are providing a platform that spreads hope. And that's just incredibly important work that you're doing. So thank you for having me on.
Of course, you are always welcome. And remember tomorrow to be safe, be vigilant, and do some good. Get out there and do some good and build community. We are not perfect people. We are inherently flawed individuals. And it's so refreshing, Sarah, to see people just like us run for office. So thank you so much for taking up the mantle. Thank you so much for having the gusto to want to change things to make it better for all of us. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kels, again. I hope you guys take care of each other. I can't wait to see your videos for tomorrow. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
It takes a village because for all means for all. Together we'll break down any wall. Linked in love, we won't disarm. We're uniting the grassroots army strong. So press play, feel the spark. This is where the movement starts. It takes a village and we're the proof. Truth in action, raising the roof. It takes a village. together, louder than fear. One voice from fire, crystal clear. From every banner, every street, unity moves on dancing feet. We rise.